Hello YouTube, my name is Ricardo Lino and I'm a wheel addict. Today I'm gonna be talking again with a youth hero. This time I'm gonna be talking with someone living in New York, but someone that moved to New York only a few months ago. He used to skate in San Juan, Puerto Rico. So you might know right now who I'm talking about. He used to be a pro for USD and a few more brands. He used to live in South California. So I'm talking about Abdiel Colberg. Today I'm not going to be using Skype because I'm having some technical problems. So I'm going to be calling Abdiel Colberg right now. Let's do this. Hey, how you doing, Abdel?
I'm doing great. How about you, Ricardo?
I'm good. You still got that little bit of a Spanish accent. I thought now living in New York you'd be like a full American.
Oh no, man. The Spanish is still full and running. It's as much as I try, it stays there.
Why do you even try? You don't need to, man. Just it's you. But I guess
No, that's true. That's true.
I guess I understand what you mean. It's the same with me, man. I moved to South Africa 3 years ago, but my English is still rusty. Yeah, we keep trying.
Yes, definitely. I'll try my best. Sometimes the words, they're hard to put it in English, but I'll try my best.
Yeah, I totally relate to that. You know, and like sometimes I don't know about you. Sometimes I feel like people look at you and they feel that what is this guy even saying? Because you're trying to translate word to word to Spanish or for me to Portuguese, and sometimes it doesn't make sense in English. But anyway, we're trying. Anyway, so
Yeah.
if I interrupt you anytime in this conversation, I'm sorry. And to everyone listening to this, I'm gonna try my best. Sometimes I just can't. So
That's great. Do it as much as you want. Do it as much as you want.
no. I'll
Nope.
try not to. I'll try not to. So I'm gonna start with the really, really basic question. But what did got you into skating? How did you got into skating?
Wow. Well, that was in 1993. 1993, 1994. In Puerto Rico, there was a huge uh, inline skating boom. And rollerblade um, started. They got there into the island, and it was the new best thing. Everybody was buying skates, and all San Juan would fill with people skating, inline skating. So I was only 11 years old. So like any youngster, he wanted to try it out, and I started. My mama and dad got me a pair of skates, and I started from there. I had a close group of friends who also had inline skates, and we just meet every weekend to go skate where I lived in the building complex, and sometimes we'll go to Old San Juan and skate over there. And the thing is that we liked it so much, we continued after the whole boom went down, and people kept going with their life doing other things. We just kept skating. It was my first love, pretty much. Just like I couldn't stop.
So
and and it was we were the close friends. Later on, you'll see in Hoax 3, Juan Carlos, Jose Cuervo, Alejandro, Christian, the whole Puerto Rican group. We all started skating about in the same time.
that's cool. So you guys all used to live in the same area, or how was it? And that was my next question too, which is, did the Oak Street section, like when that was filmed, were you guys skating already for a long time, or that was kind of like in the beginning for you guys?
We already were skating about what, like yeah, a few years already. We that was Yeah, we were 3 4 years of skating already, and we just sent. We had a friend in the south part of the island where he was the one who liked to film, and then he did like a little edit and send it to Evan Stone in California, and that's when he found out that we were, Puerto Rico had a group of skaters, and he liked the session so much that he came to Puerto Rico to film us.
That's
And that's how it all started, thanks to that little video that we just randomly sent. We didn't even call or nothing. He just sent it to them, and then he reached out to us, and that's where Hoax 3 in Puerto Rico, started appearing in the scene.
that's awesome. I remember that, and I remember watching it. I think it was in an inline magazine. I don't remember if it was inline magazine or box magazine. There was a whole report about it, and I remember seeing some stuff from Puerto Rico, and I think it was Rollis and Rivera or one of those
Yeah,
guys saying that he learned unities. I think it was unities he learned with one of you guys. And I also
yeah,
remember, yeah, so
Rawlinson and Dave Kolach was the ones that went to Puerto Rico in that trip.
yeah,
And yeah, and I would say, like, I was in one of those photos in the magazine. I think, uh, if I'm not mistaken, I think, like, I was the one who learned Unity through Rollins and Rivera.
probably that was it. Or you learned too fast, something like that. I remember it was something like something about it, one of you. And I remember that they used to call you Abdielito. Were you younger than the whole crew, or you were just shorter?
Yeah, I'm the youngest of the whole crew, pretty much. Like, Christian Rodriguez, he's 7 years older than me, and Jose Cuervo the same, and everybody was at least 3 years older than me.
Okay, so now I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask you a little bit about the rest of the crew. Jose Cuervo, what's up with Jose Cuervo? Is he still in California? Is he back in Puerto Rico? Are you still in contact with him? I guess he was the first skater that I ever saw being able to do everything both ways.
Yes, Jose was he was and back in that time he was like a machine. That's he was like my first skating mentor. Like, he's the oldest one. He was like my older brother, and he would when I was still in middle school, he would pick me up every other day at 4 o'clock to go skating. And and I had the blessing of having um the mom that I have, that she will trust me with the older guys, and she would let me go skate, as much as I wanted it. And so, but Jose, he still lived in California. He's there. I talk to him all the time, and he's there. He mostly, he's surfing. He
That's
said
what I was going
that.
to ask you. I was going to ask if he still surfs.
Yeah, he still serve. He's right now a firefighter, LA firefighter, and working too as um, like in the emergency department with the fire department. And but but yeah, he was a machine, man. He taught us to do, like, he would say that if he couldn't do a trick both ways, he wouldn't do it. So that was like our mentality back then. And back in Puerto Rico, we learned from him and from Christian Rodriguez.
Hmm.
Like, they had a list. Like, back in the day, it was we were, so passionate about skating. They, especially them, they would do a list of all the tricks that that they could imagine, and they would put it, both ways in the list, and they would do check marks all the way, and that was like, and that's how they taught us. Like, I was the
That's
youngest, so I
amazing.
learned from them. Yeah, yeah. So we tried, like, thanks to them, everything that I tried to do, I would do it switch too,
Hmm.
and I would do my best to do it both ways, thanks to Jose, and Christian, that they were encouraging us like, no, you have to do it both ways, you know.
I guess that was like a 90s mental. I remember I used to be like that in the late 90s, like 98, 99. I remember every time that I would learn a trick, I would try to do it the other way. I remember the first day I learned, and that's not even a grind, the first day I learned how to fakie bio 540 over a jump box. In the first day, I remember, this might seem stupid, but I learned it both ways. But the thing is, I can't even go fakie up a ramp switch nowadays. It's just, I don't know, it's just like back then it would make sense. If you learn one way, you're going to try the other way too. And that's it.
Yeah. And it was a challenge, you know. I think that was because, you know, it was back in the day. I guess there were still not too many tricks, you know, still, you know,
I get what
now
you mean.
yeah, I mean, but I think it all started, and I still think that it's super important to do that as well. But it all started, I think, when we saw, you know, Matt Beef and Arlo doing both ways and things like that. I guess that encouraged, you know,
Did you
us
ever? There's one thing that I still do nowadays, which is like, imagine if I'm going to be skating with someone which is starting or something like that. It's not me trying to feel or look like I'm better or anything like that, but sometimes I try to play with someone. When he does one trick, I try to do it switch as a way to be somehow more fair to the other guy, but at the same time to not train, but to get better myself at the other. I don't know if anyone else does it, but I guess I still do it sometimes, especially in the mini ramp.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's definitely good.
And tell me, and Christian Rodriguez.
Yes.
He was the master of style, right?
Christian was, you know, like Jose, you know, he had so much passion. After Jose went to California, you know, Jose after Hoax 3 and Hoax 4, Jose left to California, thanks to Evan Stone, and then went to live over there with Evan, and then he went to move with Brian Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And I, you know, Christian then became kind of like our mentor in Puerto Rico. He was the oldest one, and you know, he pretty much like make sure we, you know, we were okay and we were skating, and you know, he got the group going, and so yeah, you know, he was like him, and he was so, I think, like Christian and Juan Carlos and all those guys and Carlos Payan. I don't know if you remember Carlos Payan.
I remember all of them. I used to be the biggest fan. I always remember. I don't really remember from what video it was, but I remember this section with a Sublime song. You remember that one?
Oh yeah, I think that was
Suitable Material, something like that.
Suitable Material.
Yeah.
That's correct.
That was so sick, I remember. And talking about Suitable Material, someone was asking the other day, why did no one cut the grass? And why was the grass?
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's so funny. Yeah, you know, Puerto Rico, it's just so tropical. It's you know, Caribbean. It just rains all the time. And the sun, and you know, it's just I guess
it grows faster.
It grows so fast, and I think, I mean, you know, not too many you know, people like to be cutting grass like every other day. So I guess, yeah, it just grew so fast. It was, but we have that. Those were like the best rails and parks to skate, because nobody will kick you out, and you just session day all day long.
So that's where you got that.
But
going back to Christian Rodriguez. Sorry, we were just talking.
Yeah, no, but Christian was, you know, amazing. You know, he was so ahead of his time. Like you know, he would push himself to do things that you know, we don't even, you know, see on videos, and that's what, like, I think helped myself as well, to push myself and learn new tricks, and don't you know, not waiting to see it on a video to then do it. And you know, it was Christian pretty much who like encouraged us to, like, you know, evolve and like try new things and all that. And you know, I will be forever grateful for forever. I don't know if you know, or some people don't know, Christian passed away a
I
couple
do
of years
know, I do
ago.
know, and that's why I'm going that way too.
Y- Yeah, yeah, and it was in an accident, sadly, and it was super shocking, and it was one of the saddest days of my life. Um, but yeah, he was amazing. He was amazing, definitely.
Were you back in? Maybe we need to go in the timeline. Sorry, I was going to ask you if you were back in Puerto Rico when he passed away, or if you were still in California. But then I
No.
thought we should make a timeline. So, but yeah, maybe you can talk about it before we go there.
All right.
Um, when did you decide to move to California? What happened there? Were you skating for any brand already? I remember that you used to skate with Rochi skates, right?
Uh, no, I never skated for Roses. I just liked the skates,
Yeah, no, no,
and
no.
and
That's what I was
and
saying.
that was the skates that I used to skate in that time. But after Jose moved to California, um, since I was 14 years old, he was there his first year. And then I started going to California every summer to visit Jose, and I would stay with Jose, and of course with Brian Smith. Brian Smith, he opened his house for me every summer. I would stay pretty much half of the summer with him and Jose, and that was like my summer. I would go to California and skated with Brian Smith and TJ and B Love and Rawlinson, and that was the crew that I would be skating every summer. Imagine, for like a youngster for me, having my idols, and suddenly I would be there, with
Can I
them.
just
And
and let me just interrupt you for something. For those of you listening to these that don't know enough about those times of skating, basically you are talking about everyone zeros back then. And for those of you who also don't know, Brian Smith was like one of the main guys doing videos back then, and he evolved so much into whatever he was doing that he is not right now a really known photographer in Hollywood. But sorry, keep going with what you were saying.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So, and it was amazing, and so that's when, of course, California in that time was like the motherland of inline skating. So, and then when Jose moved there, I had that window of opportunity to visit Jose. And again, I was blessed to have the mom that I had, that she would let me go to California, so far away from Puerto Rico every summer, because so young. But because Jose Cuervo was like my older brother, so she trusted him, completely. And Jose was, he's like the most straight up guy, like full on focus. Like, he's never, he's a really focused guy, and
Is it like
so
super clean, no alcohol, no?
super
I've
clean.
not just
Yeah, super clean. Like all his whole life, he's been like that. So
like
that's why
super
of
fit, like
course.
a surf guy that takes care about the body,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. So that's when it started. My whole dream of of since I was like 14, 15, I was completely focused, that was what I was gonna do. That I was gonna move to California, and I was gonna become a professional rollerblader. That was my goal, my life.
Dude, you
That
made
I
it.
couldn't.
You made it. I had that dream too. I ended up visiting California a few times. I never did it, but you did it. But you were like just the best. So,
No, no, not. I don't. No, 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 not like that at all. But
ah,
I got lucky. I got lucky. And I did have the passion and the strive
and the skill,
to do the
and the
best.
skill,
To do.
and the skill. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I need to
I
like you had the skill. Without the skill, it's nowadays the times are different, but you became really known in a time that skill was the most important thing. Nowadays, you can, if you're good with social media and all that stuff, it can help a lot. But back then it was skill. There was way too many competition. If you wouldn't be good enough like you were, you would never got where you were. But again, going
Well,
back to what you're saying.
well, thank you, thank you. I mean, and it was great. I mean, it was fun. I just love to roll race so much. It was just. I mean, I still do, but it was like I couldn't see myself doing anything else. So when I turned 18, um, I remember I was already, to going back to that question, I was already sponsored by Blood Wheels.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, and I used to, my first sponsor was Cement Clothing,
Mm-hmm.
and Cement Clothing was Asique was the one running that company, and he was my first, clothing company. And then Blood Wheels was my main sponsor, and Isaac Oldmans with Blood Wheels was the first one who flew me out of Puerto Rico to start competing in this.
Do you want to say what company Isaac owns right now for those people
Yeah,
listening?
he's the owner of Eulogy Wheels.
Okay.
So and by that time, and Blood Wheels was Ronson Rivera, Brian Smith was the main skaters for that company, and so that's when I started again doing the connections. And then once I graduated from high school, that summer I moved to California, and Eric Shrine was also skating for them. And then to go back again, I met Robert Liavanos and Eric Shrine and them in the Miami NIS and the NIS in Miami, Florida. And that's also how that connection with the
Esco
guys
Zoo.
from Esco Zoo started too. And and of course, by that time in 2000, that was in the year 2000, already the guys at Venice Beach, Brian Smith and all those older guys were doing some other stuff. They were not too involved in skating no more. Like you said, Brian was already, evolving to what he is now today. And that's why when I moved to California, the whole connection of me going to Escozú was already there. So I decided to move down to Escondido, and I met with Eric Shrine, and then when I moved to California, I directly moved with Eric Shrine. That was my first roommate, and Tori Rex. So we had an apartment with Eric and Tori and myself. And of course, we lived like 5 minutes away from Robert and Bo Connington and Louis
How did you
Zamora
afford
and
to
all
live in
those.
California back then? Were you skating for someone that would pay you back then, or how did you afford to live in California then?
Well, it all started then when I got there. Then I started getting paid for. Then I got sponsored by USD, and then I was getting paid by USD and by Eulogy.
Okay, and tell me, so basically, all the times that all of us saw you skating the fifth elements, the red ones, you weren't getting paid, or you would buy your skates back then, your Rochi skates?
Yes. Yeah. Well, my mom would buy my skates.
That's amazing, because I remember, like, back then, when I'm talking about, like, that forest fire days,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you were already the favorite skater from a lot of people. Probably you have no idea about it because you were in a different
No.
place, but you were already like a lot of people's favorite skaters. So that's amazing. That's how
That's
different.
crazy.
That's how
Yeah, that's
different this.
crazy. And I used to love those roses. I think I started getting. I did got a couple pairs later on. Rollinson will hook me up with roses.
With the connection, yeah.
Yes, with the connections. Yeah, but I never got sponsored by them. I tried, and I don't know why. Yeah,
Did you
but
send a sponsored me tape?
yeah, right. I don't know why, but yeah, I did got help from Rollinson, especially
Wait.
in that time.
Let's go back to what you just said. Did you send a sponsor tape back then or not? That would be amazing. I would love to see
Yeah,
people just getting their sponsor me tapes back then and just started posting those. That would be
right. No, but I never did. I never did.
come
I
on.
think the only sponsor me tape I I don't even remember
Oh,
if I
come on.
sent a
There's
tape
one.
for
There was one.
cement.
That's cool.
Yeah, like the first, but I don't even think that exists no more.
That would be the best. If you start, can you imagine if you start getting everyone's sponsor me tapes and you start posting them online? That would be a whole YouTube channel with just the sponsor me tapes from everyone. That would be
Oh,
so.
that'll be
That would
that'll
be
be amazing.
so awesome.
That
Anyway,
would be amazing.
and do
And it's
you?
and it's
Yeah.
crazy because but it's so now that I go back and nowadays skating has evolved into such it's just insane and amazing and technical. Back then when we started it only there was a time that I remember the only thing that we did was just maybe front sides, and then the soul came out, and we went through the whole process of seeing every single trick getting done for the first time, and now that we had that experience looking at what rollerblading is now, and what you do now, and nowadays it's just for me it's more mind blowing what rollerblading is now, that I think kids who started even in the year 2000, more than half of the tricks were invented. So it's not like a shock for them, like to see maybe 540 to top sole to this and that and whatever. Back then that was just like not even like possible.
I remember. I remember when there used to be like pros doing interviews in magazines and stuff like that, and when they've been asked about the future of skating, and they would be saying like 720 into a grind or a misty flip out of a grind. Those things are happening right now. Like at the Winter Clash, Montre just did a hurricane topsoul misty flip out, but it's just he did it casually. It's just there used to be like
Yeah.
the dream tricks, or the ones that we thought would probably not be possible in the next 100 years. He's just doing them.
Yeah, it's amazing to be for us to have had the experience of starting from literally from the beginning of everything. It's definitely something amazing that we did. And so yeah, it's so it all started like that, going back to
Okay.
Cali, and when I moved and all that, so yeah, and when I moved the year 2000 to ESCO.
Okay, so when you moved,
And
there was no proposal for you to skate for USD or anything like that.
no, once I got there, that's when everything started happening
And how
really
did that
fast.
happen? Do you remember the day that you got the back then was the email, but I don't know about you because there was Scott, the guy from the USA. Did Scott spoke with you? Did you got an email from Mark Corti? How was it?
No, I was back when I was already in 1999, when I was in the summer going to visit before I moved. I already knew a lot of people in California, and not only in Escondido and San Diego. I would drive up to LA and to Orange County, and I already knew all the USD guys, and of course the FP guys, and everybody. So when I got to Cali, it was I already had planned to, not planned, but like I was already, there was already the talk. Yeah, I talked to
If you move,
it
this
was
can
it,
happen,
it
something like that.
it was all through the guys, the skaters, and Scott. Yeah. And that's when as soon as I got to California and they saw that I was there for permanently, then everything started happening. And then I started like an amateur and getting skates, and they will fly me to comps and whatever. But it all went really fast, and it was a blessing that I had the opportunity to become pro for them, and getting an actual monthly payment, and be able to live in California through rollerblading alone. That was like something that you might not be able to see that nowadays. you know.
You can, but you need to be doing things differently. Basically nowadays, I
Yeah,
keep saying the
that's
same.
true.
Basically nowadays, living from skating, just going out and skating and having fans. Well, it's not really working that way. But there's ways. There's ways to live from skating, and I guess
Oh yeah, no,
you're one of
definitely.
those guys, right? What are you doing in New York? One of the things that you're doing in New York right now.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm working with Go Sports USA with John Ortiz and Ray Mendez. They have, they started an amazing uh, kids inline skating program, that we teach kids to skate in schools, like an actual part of the curriculum of the school, part of, like, you could say, like a gym class, but just completely focus on inline skate and just like focusing on inline skating, hockey, ice skating, everything that has to do with inline. So it's amazing. Yeah, it's a blessing and amazing opportunity, and what these guys have done here in New York, John and Ray, it's just amazing. And I think a lot of people, I mean, now a lot, I think worldwide it's already getting known, but they've been doing it for 10 years already. So what they're doing uh, for the future of the sport is just I think one of the most amazing things that anybody is doing right now. And I know there's similar things that are happening in Europe. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Blading camp that I know Montre goes, and then France there's another one.
Yeah.
So I think it's one way to make this sport alive. And I got lucky enough that I was able to come to New York and help them out with that, and be part of my job, everyday
See?
job, teaching kids how to
So
skate. Yeah.
it's possible to live from skating still in 2018. One more. We're gonna keep going to the same line that we were going, but the
Yeah.
guys that you were saying in France are Kevin Canton from Marseille, and then there's more people. There are more people all over the world doing this type of little schools, and it's cool that Ray and John are right now trying to integrate them all with like the project that they did with with Kevin, like the
Yeah.
Marcel New York and all that stuff. It's cool that more and more schools are starting to work together, because if you think of school itself not as a skate school, but a lot of the kids, when it comes to their summer, they try to go to other places, other countries to learn the language. And imagine if you integrate that in skating so that they end up making new friends. And that's what we used to do with competitions back then, I guess. Whenever you go somewhere else, you meet different people, and that's how you moved to California, that you just said. That's how you met the guys that you ended up moving with, and that's how you ended up getting your sponsor that allow you to live in California, right? So
Hmm.
I remember. You probably don't remember, but you were skating already for USD. It was probably a few months to before you moved back to Puerto Rico. But I ended up meeting you once. You were with Matt Mans at Angie's house. It was just one day at night. It was like my first day ever in San Diego, and I remember I went to Angie's house, and then you were there with Matt. But
Oh wow.
that was like probably right before you moved back. And my next question was, what happened? What did made you move back? I know that I'm doing like a big jump from. I'm not even talking about the California times. Maybe we should talk a little bit about the California times. Is there anything that you want to say about those times that you were living there, like living?
Well, I mean, it's
Was it like you always dreamed of it? Like was it like skating the whole time, or you ended up getting way too chilled? Because sometimes you ended up going into like, well, you're there and then you don't take advantage anymore.
yeah, that it could say, you could say it was like that, like both of those things. Like I mean, it was living my dream, of course. Like it was, and I think I was able to do my dream, and even more than what I expected of me, I think, at that time. uh, definitely it was an amazing time, traveling the world, traveling the states, able to skate with, like I said, like it would, my idols, back then, and becoming all of them, becoming my friends, my really good friends, all the ESCO guys and the San Diego, and it was an amazing time being able to be on that time in I think the 2000s were very important times in the evolution of skating and the
Mm-hmm.
tricks, and you got all the FB house skaters, Josh Petty,
Mm-hmm.
Skid Dustin Latimer. It's just some, Dustin was my fucking, I think everybody's,
Yeah, he was everyone's favorite.
Dustin Latimer was one of those guys who changed, uh, you know, skating into, evolve. So skating, being able to skate with, I mean, especially living with Eric Shrine and Robert and Dominic Sagona became my other roommate. I lived with Dominic like most of the time when I was in California, and skating with those guys constantly, definitely will keep your skating on lock and evolving. And it was just such an amazing time, and be able to travel the world and live my dream was just mind blowing. And then getting my pro skate for USD and all that, all those things. I'll probably, I knew I was going to go to California and live, my rollerblading life, and try to be a, professional with it, and do all that. But I think I I lived through that and more. So I'm definitely was super happy about it. But then it got into a point that, yeah, it was too shit. Like, I think, um, I guess going back to why I went back to Puerto Rico, it's just some different, a lot of things, a lot of, uh, how do you say that? Reasons, a lot of
Yes.
reasons,
I know
why.
that you went back
And
and studied, right?
yeah, I went back. I ended up studying and changing my lifestyle completely too as well. It was it got to a point that the lifestyle in California was just too much partying, or too much uh, you know uh, I think now, after I went to Puerto Rico, because after, like I said, there's many reasons why. Of course, I miss home, and I wanted to be there for, I wanted to,
Family.
but family, and, a lot of different reasons. But one of the other reasons was because I really wanted to change the atmosphere that I was in order to change to myself, and evolve as well, So it was a really hard decision, because going to Puerto Rico meant that I wasn't going to be able to be
in,
involved
in the
in
mainstream.
the mainstream as I was in California. So, but and that time in my life, it was the only way I was going to be able to accomplish what I thought it was going to be my next move and my next
And how did your
self.
sponsors react with that? Or when you left, you were not with your sponsors the same way, or you got cut it, or what was it? How did they react with that?
No, not really. I mean, and that time too, skating was going. The spot, money and the budget, the sponsors. Skating was a little bit going down.
Mm-hmm.
So we already was getting a little bit cuts of paychecks and money. It was going down a little bit. So it's harder. It was harder to be able to live only through that. So that was another. And I was, I was young. I was 23.
Mm-hmm.
something like that. So, it was like I said, many reasons that I didn't move to Puerto Rico because those things were happening. I think the main reason was because I felt that it was my time to go back in order to do what I wanted to do and change my lifestyle and a lot of things for the better.
And
But
how did your
when I got
parents? Sorry. You go. Keep going. Sorry.
yeah, but when but of course, going to Puerto Rico, like I said, it was going to take myself away from the mainstream and be able to be there professionally for the companies. So of course, yeah, slowly, I took myself down for USD. I kept myself for eulogy, you know, um, with eulogy, and I still, you
And
know,
you still have a
super
pro
in
will.
contact
You
with.
still have a pro will.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, it's
amazing.
eulogy. Like I mean, I will always be forever grateful with Isaac Omens and eulogy. He's my boss. Like I always call him. I talk to him. He's my boss forever. Like that was my first sponsor, and I will support him until
Dude,
whenever I need to.
Elegy Wheels was my first wheel sponsor. And it was actually my first international sponsor, if you can say it. I think I was never officially on any team, but Isaac would always send me wheels. That was amazing. And the wheels were amazing. I
Yeah,
only moved away from Elegy to work with Undercover, and back then I was supposed to be Undercover team manager, which I did for like 2 years. That's the only reason why I left it. The wheels were amazing, and they still are. So
yeah, yeah. That's why it was an amazing experience, amazing team. He's great, and of course the wheels are the best for me. So that's why I never thought about like going skating for any other company other than
and did
than,
you
than
got
Eulogy.
proposals to skate for other wheel brands and stuff like that, or
Um, I think yeah, I think I yeah, I think they always had like asked me, but no, it's no way.
yeah, that's good.
There's
That's
no
it.
way.
You're loyal.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the way it should be.
I was very loyal to all my companies. Yeah, and I skated for Ground Control as well. John Elliott helped me a lot. Like he was always there too for me in California. I was lucky. I think that California treated me really good since the beginning. Since Brian Smith and then with the ESCO guys, they became my brothers. I still talk to them, and they all became brothers. Everybody was so good uh, that I can't complain. I had the best times of my life over there and traveling and skating, and even though I went to Puerto Rico after that, people thought that I stopped skating. I didn't. Of course, in Puerto Rico, there was still a scene in Puerto Rico. I just wanted to be away from the main stream, and it was that time of my life where I guess I kind of went into a retreat,
Hmm.
pretty much. Like I just wanted to be away from anything that
From being
would
judged the whole time and being the circus clown.
yeah, I just and it was a time that there's always a time in life that you need a spiritual retreat and
Hmm.
like see where you at, and you need to refocus and see where you want to head, go, head forward with your life and how you want to be. And for me, the only way to do it was going back to Puerto Rico, and in a way, sadly, stop from that professional whatever life or mainstream life. But I again, there was a big scene in Puerto Rico. Going back, there was a few of the island. We had skaters from the San Juan area, from the Ponce South area. We had from the west, and we have from the north. That and we all were connected. We all, it was Puerto Rico has an amazing group of friends and skaters. Like I think like everybody everywhere else. I think one of the things that make rollerblading so amazing is that our connections and friends. It's just I don't know if any other sport has it, but
Man,
I think
you guys
we get
are Latinos, man.
yeah
It's just
we
that connection somehow.
but yeah, like in Puerto Rico there was a big scene, yeah, and of course everybody knows Miguel Ramos.
Yes,
Uh,
that was my next question. When did
that's
Miguel?
that's like that's Miguel was there since day one too in Puerto Rico, man. But he lived 2.5 hours, 2 hours away from where I live.
So when you
But
started, he
but
was already skating, or you met him when you got back?
y- no, he was skating since day one, and I didn't talk about him before the conversations, but him and a group of friends in that part of the island were, they start skating maybe a year after we started in San Juan, because everything starts in San Juan, which is the capital,
Yeah,
and
which
then
is
it goes,
normal.
yeah, which is normal. But yeah, he was there skating since day one as well, and they were like the ones running that part of the island, and they had a skate park over there that nowadays that skate park evolved into that cement skate park
It's
that you see in
amazing.
videos.
It's amazing. That's
That
all
is
DIY,
that
right?
Yeah, exactly, and that's Miguel. That's Miguel's baby. Like him and a group of friends and the community over there started the skate park. That it started only with a lunchbox and a rail and things like that, but it has never stopped evolving until what it is now today. So Miguel is the one that uh, like he's like I would like after Christian and Miguel. I think there's so many amazing group of skaters in Puerto Rico nowadays with Miguel. I don't know if you've seen Hector Tats Gonzalez in
Mm-hmm.
some videos, and Paul Moulier. There's so many amazing group of people that started a little bit later on. Alejandro Velez, I don't know if that's another Alejandro, which he
Mm-hmm.
started too when back then he still skated. He's just amazing. He's been those are all skaters that have been skating for 20 years, and they're still there. They're still skate. Miguel was the one running like the comps and making the scene alive in Puerto Rico. So I was there when I went back. So I continue skating in Puerto Rico, not as often because yeah, like you said, I started studying, so I went to college. I had other things that I was doing, but I continue skating and with in the scene in Puerto Rico. But I stayed local.
So before I go
Yeah.
to my next question, I'm just gonna send some positive vibes to Miguel, who just made a surgery to his back. That guy is more
Yes.
passionate than anyone else that I know when it comes to skating, and he was having some lower back problems. So here's some
Yeah.
love to
Yeah.
Miguel.
That's that exactly, man. I'm so happy that he finally was able to get that surgery. He's been struggling for years and years with those pain, back pains, and it's going to take maybe a couple months of recovery, but after that,
It's gonna be for the
he's
best.
finally going to be able to have the relief that he deserves. Yeah, he's I think Miguel is one of the most humble and lovable
Passionate guys.
individuals, and yeah, the passion that he has for rollerblading, like you said, I haven't seen. There's a few people in the world who has that passion, and he's one of them.
For people who never saw what Miguel does, basically they think that he works in Woodward and all he does is skating all day. He doesn't, man. He does the maintenance of that place, and that's a huge place, and he works there all day. And after that
Yep.
really really hard work, he puts his skates on, and no matter who's in Woodward, he's gonna skate with them, and if no one is there, he's gonna skate by himself. And it's amazing. And on weekends he always drives 2.5 hours, 3 hours just to meet everyone else in LA, and it's crazy. It's Miguel
Yep.
is just the one. That's why I'm just sending all this love to this guy. But now to the next
Yes.
question.
Thank
Next
you.
question was
Yeah.
like, how did you said your mom was like really like protective, but at the same time she let you. She was always like she would let you go to those Californian trips and to go with Jose Cuervo and all that. How did your mom saw your coming back to Puerto Rico, and did they support you? Were they the ones telling you always come back and study and all that, or it has nothing to do with that?
No, not really. No, no. My mom actually, she's been supporting me since day one. And at the beginning, my dad was a little bit. He was the one a little bit
Concerned.
Concerned about me going to California and just going to, back now you're going to California just to rollerblade, like what? Like, you're going to rollerblade, you're not going to study.
It's
and
normal. That's the man's thing. Like a man is supposed
yeah,
to provide for the house.
And it's funny because I went to California and I tried to go to college. That's one thing nobody knows. When I went to California, I tried to go to college, and I started in a media program.
Mm-hmm.
And I lasted like 2 months, and
Why?
I was like, nah, it's not, it's just not possible. Like my focus was just going rollerblading and traveling, and there was no way I was gonna, be able to study at the same time. So, but anyway, he was the one concerned at the beginning. Of course, later on, when they saw what I was doing and everything that I accomplished and all that, of course they. At least my dad, part of the family, were they understood that I had to do it. But yeah, no, like they never encouraged me to go back home or to come back and study. It was all a choice that I made myself, and of course they were happy that I was gonna go home and be back home after 6 years away from home. So yeah, they were happy, and of course she was part of the process of myself changing my lifestyle and yeah, like myself deciding going to college and all that.
How was it for you? Wasn't it hard to adapt coming from 6 years living by yourself and partying, like you just said, and all that, coming back to your parents and then just having to do like a completely different lifestyle? Of course, it was part of what you were expecting, and that's why you needed it. But wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's why it made it. It didn't made it hard because I was already, like everything I've done. Once I make the decision, is because I'm sure of it. So that's why it wasn't that hard to go back and. I stayed with my mom for a few months until I started, until I enrolled college. That I actually did college like an hour and a half away from home, and so until then I moved. I rented a place and I started studying and did college for like 3 years.
What did you study?
I study horticulture.
Oh.
Yeah, like I went to study in the country. Like I've learned everything that has to do with agriculture.
Yeah.
So I studied that, and then I finished my a degree in human nutrition. So I did horticulture and then human nutrition, and so that was it. I studied like for 5 years, and then
you ended up being a photographer.
And then I end up being a photographer right now, which is crazy because that's not, life is like that. Like I study all that. Like again, it was a whole change of lifestyle. Like I changed my whole thing. Like I wanted to learn how to be sustainable, so I study agriculture. I wanted it to change, to have a healthier lifestyle, so I study human nutrition, and
you always
this
had
whole
a good
process.
eye, so photography came.
So it's crazy, yeah. And the thing is that I always had photography right there in my life because my dad, it's a film cinematographer, director, producer, editor. That's his career. He's been
Okay.
doing it for more than 30 years. So I grew up with that. Then in California, of course, I was with Brian Smith. I was there with him all the time. Then I was with Bo Connington. Then I was with Eric, and I was with Keith Wilson and Brian Konoski
Mm-hmm.
and Jess and all the photographers there. So I was always with them. I had my camera, but I never got into it. Now that I got into photography, has been for a few years that I've been like really really into photography. Now is when I think back. I'm like, I had everything. I had all these amazing mentors in California that I would like one thing I do regret is that I didn't like use my time there and the freedom that I had to get something else going other than rollerblading.
Mm.
I that's but like I say, I was so I was young. I was 21, 22 years old. Your mind is not too focused. Sometimes some people are more focused than other. I didn't have my mind
Yeah, your focus was into
set.
skating, probably, but probably,
Yes,
probably
so
you would
so
never get
I
that.
didn't have I didn't have the maturity maybe to think ahead and do all those things. It wasn't my time, I guess, for that. But yeah, now after I did all that and I studied all that, I did work for a while doing uh, urban landscaping. I did vegetable gardens. Like I had my little own company back in Puerto Rico doing that. Uh, then I study as a nutritionist as well. I worked in the things that I did study,
Mm-hmm.
but it was more not as a profession. I think like I always have that and I still do it. But it was more because it was a whole process of more personal, a personal process for me to know everything I need to know to have a healthier lifestyle, a better life, and I was trying to live the life that I want, you know, uh,
Okay.
to
Yeah.
have, and whatever. So that's what I did all that, and it was a great experience, and I don't regret doing what I did. Uh, but nowadays I'm again I'm teaching rollerblading to kids, and for a few years I've been doing photography, and now it's taking me into uh, an amazing uh, life that I did, that now I'm like photography for me now is like I was rollerblading back then. Like I'm just so passionate about it. It's like I just want to be with my camera and shoot and learn and learn and learn and learn and and thanks to Ray as well. That he has another other than Go Sports USA, he has Parlor Production,
I know
and
he
he has
has
a
kind of like a marketing. Um,
yeah, and he got me a connection with a school in Brooklyn, and now I teach photography in a private school as well. So that's been great. I can't complain. Uh,
okay.
the experience that I've been having now here in New York,
And that's what I was going to
definitely.
ask you, because I was going to ask you, isn't New York one of the most expensive cities on earth?
Or horrible, horrible. It's so expensive. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it is. It is. It's been hard. I can't tell you it's not. It's been a hard change to come to New York and live. Here in New York is super expensive. The weather is horrible, at
Yes,
least for
especially
me.
coming from Puerto
You know,
Rico.
yeah, at least for me. Winter has been hard. Definitely, it's been hard to get used to the winter and the weather and the cold and not being able to be outside and not being able to skate. Like that's one thing that I'm like, I'm there's no indoor skate parks in New York. If you have to drive maybe an hour and a half to go to a small skate park, or you drive 3.5 hours to go to Woodward, or 4 hours, something like that. That's the only way that you'll be able to skate if you live here on the winter. It's just crazy. But other than that, I'm still teaching kids how to blade, and I'm doing photography. So it's okay. You give it. It can be perfect.
Yeah, you give
anywhere,
some, you lose some. Basically, that's it. And your family, family is with you there, right? So along this whole story, you got 2 kids.
Exactly. Along this whole story, I have 2 kids, 2 sons, and I got married, and I've been with my wife for 10 years, and my eldest son is 7, and my youngest 2.5.
That's amazing. And how are they adapting to New York, your wife and your kids?
Well, she grew up here. That's one of the reasons we are here back in New York as well. She grew up. She's from Colombia.
Okay.
But she grew up in Long Island in New York, and my kids, they adapt. And I was worried a little bit with my eldest kid because he's in 1st grade, and he grew up in Puerto Rico speaking Spanish. Although in Puerto Rico we learn English in schools, and we're listening to English, but we don't have the practice. So I was a little worried about that for him here, but he adapted, and he's already learning English so fast that he's super good. He's doing great in school. So he adapted really, really fast. One of the only things that he doesn't like is just the winter and the cold, because he's used to. Yeah, he's a very energetic kid. He's like me when I was little. I was just kids. He wants to be outside all the time. He just want to play. We were used to after school, I would take him to the park, and we would be 2 hours playing in the park before we go home and dinner and all that. And here you're in the house all day. So that's the only part that has been hard for them, especially for him to adapt of not being able to play more and be outside. He likes the outdoors. So it's hard. That's the only thing that he's been struggling a little bit since we got here, or since the winter started, actually, because we got here in the summer. It was great, but then now it's been already 4 months of completely cold weather, and right now as we speak, it's it's a snowstorm outside right now.
Good luck with
that. Yeah.
I'm in summer now, South Africa. South Africa. You've been here. You want to you want to talk about your experience in South Africa?
Yo, Ricardo, South Africa. South Africa will always have a special special place in my heart. For me, South Africa was, and it's sad. When I went to South Africa, I had an injury that happened a few months before I went to South Africa. I fractured my fibia, so I was in the process of healing. But then I thought I was healed, and I went to South Africa. I had the opportunity to go to South Africa, and I say yes. I'm feeling better. I'm starting skating again, so let's go. And when I got to South Africa, we were skating, and I think didn't pass an hour, and I fell, and I thought I broke my leg again. Oh. So the whole time I was there, I wasn't able to. I didn't skate. I couldn't even skate because I was so injured. So pretty much the whole time, what I did was film the guys. I was the one filming everybody, but the experience that I had over there was so great. we were in Johannesburg, and then we went to Cape Town,
Mm.
and everybody there was so nice, and they took us. We went tourists. We cruised, and uh, like I think that was one of the best trips of my life, definitely, and especially, I enjoyed Johannesburg, but Cape Town was so beautiful and so nice, and the memories I have there are like amazing. So that's definitely, and that was my last trip with related to
Skating.
skating, to
Yeah,
rollerblading. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome. Well,
yeah.
you always got a place.
It was. I would love to go back to South
Yeah, you would
Africa.
love it. If you ever want to come, even with your family, you're more than welcome here. I guess what you just said, like the way that they always welcome the skaters, I guess it happens a lot because, yes, there's a lot of tourists coming to South Africa, but for skating, there's not that much people coming over here. So for the
Yeah,
local skaters, whenever they have someone coming around that can skate with them, they're always super thankful for that. And so, like, always super respectful to everyone, always try to make everyone feel really, really good. I guess, like, you came in an era that skating was already going down a little bit over here, but from what I know, it used to be huge. And right now, it's growing a little bit. I wouldn't say
awesome.
it's like huge, but it's growing. I see more and more people on skates. The other day, yeah, it was 2 days ago. I went to film my wife with three other girls on roller skates in the park. We got there, and there were
Yeah,
five kids that I never saw, like really young kids, like in between 5 and 8. There was five kids there just with inline skates, just skating around. That was amazing. I was like really, really happy, like just to see kids like that, which is cool. It's happening. But now my question has nothing to do with skating in South Africa. It has to do with the actual state of skating, but more like gear wise. What what type of material? What skates do you use for the classes? Do you use aggressive skates for the classes that you're doing, or do you use any other type of skates? I have no idea.
yeah. I use both. Sometimes to tell you the truth, it's funny, but I sometimes bring my aggressive skates just to feel them on my feet, because I can't, that I can't skate outside because it's snowing and all that. So sometimes I put my aggressive skates just to like feel that I'm skating my aggressive skates. But usually I've been using I got I met one day here in New York with
Tallmeiser?
um no. I was using the skates that the guys have over there in the schools.
Mm-hmm.
They use rollerblades.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I use the skates that are there. Sometimes I use my right now I'm using the USD the Aeons, and then I have also skates that I got the other day. What's it called? The Oh my God,
Is it big
it's
wheels?
crazy that yeah, the huge wheels. I have 110 uh, wheel. Oh my God, the Eagles.
Oh yeah, I
This,
know. The, is it
yeah,
is it the power slide ones?
no. Hold on. There. It's crazy.
We'll get it.
I can't believe I forgot the name. I just went blank.
It's all good, man.
Hold on.
It's still too early. So I'm gonna just for those of you that listening to this right now, you don't
Yeah,
know
the
when.
flying eagles, the
Ah,
flying
the
eagles.
flying
Oh
eagles.
my God.
Yeah, it's
Yes, the flying eagles. Yeah. So
so.
I got those skates. So I'm using once in a while. I put them on over there. They're just speed skates. So I've been using all of them. Sometimes I use the rollerblade. Sometimes I use the flying eagle ones. And I have these flying eagle skates, and the wheels when they rotate, they glow. So the kids get all pumped up, and they get all excited. So it's fun to have them for the kids. They enjoy me having those skates there, and they get all pumped up. But yeah, right now I'm
Uh,
alternating.
that's cool. That's cool. And you guys are working with like mostly disadvantaged kids, or there's all types of kids, all types of schools. What is it?
They're all types. The schools in the Bronx, they're all public schools, and and then we also do private schools. Like most of the private schools are after school programs,
Mm-hmm.
and that's in the city, in Manhattan, and so yeah, we work with all kinds of private schools and disadvantaged kids. So it goes both ways. Yeah.
And do you guys ever mix them? Did you guys ever try like making anything where kids from different schools get together? Or you guys never do it. It's just like
Well,
curiosity.
the other day, Ray organized an event, but it was for ice skating
Mm-hmm.
in the city. That he tried all the schools that we worked with to go there and meet up and have like a full day of ice skating. Uh, but that day actually had a snowstorm, or it was like a rainy day, and I don't know if it was able to do it like how he planned, but he periodically he tried to organize events like that, so he can like, and then he tells everybody in all the schools, and then he try to get everybody together to meet up, like you say, like your special events occasionally.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because I keep saying the same. Probably, I was thinking while you were talking, when you moved to California, you had the goal to be a pro skater. But then, after a while, you ended up realizing that you needed something else in your life. And then you ended up moving back to Puerto Rico. I guess, like, sometimes what we need in life is goals. Probably if once you got to California, you had other goals over there, like to start a company or something else, then we move differently, you know? the When
Yeah,
we have goals, we try to achieve them and we try to get there. And sometimes that's what we need to create when we're teaching kids. And that's why I was asking if you guys bring kids together, if you do like these type of events, because I guess you know it. You work with kids every day, so
yeah, no, and that's super important right now, and I think that's one thing that you know nowadays, now that our industry is, and the skaters are getting, we're older, of course we have another mentality, maturity, and we can see our lives a little different. Definitely that's one thing that we need to focus on, having a good example for the kids to come. It's important that we, as the older generation, uh, teach the younger kids that if skating could be a positive things, and teach and let the parents know
yeah,
that skating could bring positiveness to the kid's life,
yeah,
instead of like negativity, or not having, like you said, like if they see us, uh, the teachers or the professionals, uh, having a life, and a prosperous life, or a goal, and good mentality, is something that could help the industry, and more kids get more involved in rollerblading.
and having a good
Uh,
time. I guess, like, imagine
yeah,
if you're
yeah. I
teaching
mean,
something, and
and
if you're like a happy person teaching, that it means that you love what you do, and people want to do what they see the other ones enjoying. If you're just like that guy
yeah,
teaching with that face, I don't want to be here today, then
no,
you might as well just be home.
exactly. It's all what you project, and I mean, we learn by example, and definitely we need to step up and be a good example for the new generations, and I think that's what rollerblading needs, and that's why, uh, now I think more than ever we have, the opportunity to uplift the industry again, and make it bigger and better, and you know uh, people like you, like Miguel, like John Julio, those are people that now that you can look up to and say, you know what, you know you can, it's I want that, and
Thank you so much for putting me in that league. That's all I can say.
No, definitely. You guys are the ones who are uh, given the example, the good example. That we have the maturity to 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 do this, and to like uh, it's something that you can look forward when, oh, maybe when you're done with skating. uh, Back in the day, you didn't know if it was possible to do anything after that. But nowadays it's like, all right, yeah,
You'll never
there's
be done.
something that
That's what happens nowadays. You'll never be done. It's just if you think of
exactly.
it, man. I'm telling you, I haven't done a marathon in 20 years. Last year I did my first marathon after more than 20 years, right? 20 years, I don't know, in Berlin. I was doing this marathon. I was just like about to die. Seriously, I was just like, I don't know if I can finish this. I looked to the side and there's this 80 years old guy skating by me, just like going faster, like if he's just chilling. And I just thought, like, no way. If that guy can do it, I'm gonna be able to do it, and I'm gonna be able to do it at his age. And like those type of things. I guess that's what I was saying. Setting goals, because it's good that, and you just said it. Like you set it your own goals. Probably there was a time in your life that you stopped putting skating in the next step. Like when you felt like you needed to change your lifestyle, or when like you wanted to be healthier and all that. But back then, skating used to be like all these different disciplines that no one would ever imagine that Jan Welsh, the guy from 4x4, would right now do marathons and distance skating and skating for days. You would never imagine that a
Mm.
few years ago, but that's the way these things are evolving, and that's amazing. It's like people are starting to see skating with. I'm not saying it's growing every day. Let's not lie to each other and just say that, hey, this is booming. It's not, but there's everything to be there. People are starting to be a little bit more open-minded, even with all the hate, which will always be there. I guess the most important thing is that there are individuals that are trying to do something more than back in the day that we used to wait for everyone else to do it for us. You know,
Yeah,
I guess.
I, I
And
agree, man.
okay, let me ask you something. You were talking about new generation, but we were talking about kids. But talking about new generation of aggressive skating, who's your favorite skater right now?
Oof.
I'm not. I know who's your favorite skater, but that's not just new generation. That's old, new, and future still. But I think I know. But still,
No,
you just say.
I don't know. I mean, right now it's just so hard to like
You can pick
choose.
five. Come on, you can pick five.
Wow. I mean, in top, I know I'm gonna, I have so, there's so many, but right now in top of my head, I'm always
No one
been
will
a
be
fan.
offended. Come on, no one will be
Yeah,
offended.
no, no, I always been a fan of Brasco,
I know. That's why I
you know.
said old, the new, and future.
Yeah, yeah, because he's been going on for a while, same as Chris Haffey. Those guys started back then, they still going, and they're amazing. Um, but I
You
could
got three more.
say
You got three more.
yeah, I could say them too. Of course, I will say Eugene Enin
Yeah.
is it's amazing. Nick Lomax is amazing. What I've seen, and uh, I will say I love Austin Paz and his style
Yes.
of skating.
Yes.
He's amazing, and there's so many. Of course, John Julio will always be my top, since Mr. Moose and he still skates, and
Mhm.
Brandon, and I mean, there's so many that nowadays it's just so hard to
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 pick.
say, to pick, because there's so many amazing skaters out there that it's just insane. Every time an edit comes, I'm
That's it.
just say amazed on
And do
it.
you
But
still
yeah,
feel
I,
like a
I could.
kid? Do you still feel like a kid? Because I do, man. There's a new VOD,
Oh yeah,
and then whenever I
definitely,
can
man.
buy it, because most of the times, you know what I try to do is like I have this thing, this like PayPal thing on this YouTube channel. So if someone donates any money there for this work, I don't really use it for anything else other than buying like VODs and stuff like that. So whenever someone buys me, like donates like $5 or $10 or whatever, I end up buying all the VODs with that money. So the other day there was this new VOD. I don't know if you saw Avalancha, and the other one from Alex Bernstein that came like a few days before. I was just so excited to see all the videos. So it's just
Yeah, I haven't seen Avalanche yet.
you will love it. It's just it's a I don't know if you know Mark Moreno, if you ever met Mark, but
Yeah.
it's it's a certain type of skating which is it's raw, you know. I love it. It's not that HD. Sorry, the expression is not that HD shit like all filmed. It's that skating like skateboarding style raw. Like I don't know. I love it. The way it's filmed, the music. It's more like a rock and roll thing. I love it. I think it's really cool. But then it has nothing to do with the Elite series, which is super HD. And it's funny to see Alex Bernstein film with both different cameras, because Alex Bernstein has clips in both those videos, and they're both sick. Both videos amazing with his part, and it's just sick to watch. I don't know. I just get excited about these things.
Awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to see it as well. Yeah, yeah. I enjoy every video that comes out, man, and I enjoyed last video I saw was Hermanos from Ivan.
Yes.
And even though it was filmed a few years ago, it's just such an amazing project, an amazing video. It's just so the quality of it is just insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. I mean, aggressive skating. I think it's for me. It's mind blowing how what we're doing, and especially now that we're taking the film and the cinematography into another level, putting into blading and makes it even look even better. You know, even more amazing. So yeah, definitely. I enjoy every bit of it that comes out, and it makes me feel again like back in the day. You know, I'm the grommet right now. I'm like the little kid. You know, I completely like feel that way, and I'm still like, even though I have 2 kids, I'm 35. I'm still like right now thinking and of skating and when I'm gonna, you know, I'm so anxious to go skating. That's why this weather is getting me crazy.
It's like, you know what I always say, it's just like skating. A lot of people say that it's in my blood, but you know, I don't think it's in my blood. It's deeper than that. Huh? It's just like, because the blood you could suck, but it's somehow in my flesh, because you could suck my blood, but the thing would still be there. It's just weird. But anyway, let me tell you something if you didn't knew. So if you watch Hermanos, have you seen the book?
Yeah.
You saw the book
yeah,
too?
I saw it.
Okay, because I bought the book the other day too, and that's like for people who just saw Hermanos, who just downloaded the DVD, they need to see the book, because
they need to see the book. That photography work, the whole thing is photography that Brandon Smith and Ivan, and you know, it's just amazing. Their photography. I'm like, I tell them all the time, like they're like their inspiration to me. Yeah, no, they're part of my inspiration, you know, like them and like many others, you know. Stockwell is just an amazing skater, and now he's just an amazing photography as well. Yeah.
Man,
so yeah, we have
like, usually if you're a good skater, usually you're super creative to be a good skater. And you can use your creativity out of just skating field, man. Most of the, like, if you think about it, like that, what's his name? Tyler Shields? Remember Tyler Shields?
Oh, of course.
Have you seen how big he is in photography? He has millions of followers, man, on Instagram and stuff.
He's huge. Same as Brian. It's just something that, I mean, you know, skating and the sports that we do, they're sports but it's an art. You know, Christian always used to tell me that rollerblading is like martial arts. You know, it's a way of expression, but at the same time, it's still a type of art. And I think, like you said, we have that in us, and that creativity could be expressed in so many ways. And of course, for us, photography and cinematography is one way of expressing it, because it's connected as well. For you know, it's connected because, you know, we've been filming us and you know, photographing. That's part of the whole thing. But it's definitely a type of art, and we all have that creativity. It's just a matter of how to express it. And, you know, Robert Liavanos It's an amazing
I know,
graphic
I know,
designer,
I know, I
and
know.
Mike Murda Johnson, the one of my favorite skaters of all time. He and I that was one of my I got the blessing of being, he was my roommate as well in California. I lived with him for a couple of years, and he's an amazing 3D artist
I know, it's
working
crazy.
for.
He was learning while he was still skating as a pro skater. That was amazing. I know. It just it,
Yes. Oh, yeah. That was one of like the things that I will never forget about Murda and Robert. We would be in the Escazú house with like we always had like 10 people at least in our house every day, because we were five of us and or six of us in that house. But then we always had people visiting from all over the place. So we always had people over, and no matter if we were there hanging out, even if it was just normal light, it felt like you were in a party because there were so many people. Even if we were just chilling, watching a movie or whatever, but
yeah.
they would be up all night practicing 3D. Mike Murda in his room practicing 3D with his book open, and Robert doing graphic, and then then that's how they did it, and now they're amazing at what they do,
Dude,
and
the other day,
they have
the other day I bought a
what?
jacket. The other day I bought a
Oh,
jacket, like a snowboard, like not a snow, like a snow jacket. And then I saw the logo, like that's like a really cool logo. And then later that week, I ended up finding out that out of nowhere, that logo was designed by Robert Livanos. That was a grenade jacket.
oh, there you
And
go.
that's
Yeah,
how like
yeah,
how small the world is. Like, it's crazy.
yeah. It is. So yeah, it's we have we're definitely a community of of artists that definitely could work in our advantage in some time in life. So it's just a matter
Okay,
of
so now
how you wanna express it. Yeah, definitely.
and now I'm gonna end up this with a proposal. So you said that you studied um, nutrition, right?
Yeah.
I need a dietist. I need you to make me a diet.
Ah,
I really do, huh? I'm serious. So after this, we're gonna need to talk later.
all right, all right,
I needed that, and then I'm gonna be posting about my diet made by Abdiel Colberg, and I'm gonna try
all
to
right.
advertise the job. I'll pay you for that, of course. I really do need.
No, that's funny. No, no, no. It's not as hard as you think. It's easy.
Yeah,
It's
it's so
easy.
good. But you know what? I've studied sports science. I used to teach people how to eat in gyms and be a personal trainer. But when it comes to myself, man, it's harder. So I
It's
need.
always hard. It's always hard to you know to do, or do what you teach or what you preach. It's hard to do it when it's by yourself. But it's important. It's important to definitely apply it to yourself first,
Yeah.
and then
So I'm
yeah.
gonna
But
I'm gonna
anyway,
I'm
yeah.
gonna I'm gonna talk with you about it. So soon, really soon.
That's awesome.
Okay. So
All right.
Abdel, we're
Sounds good, man.
almost making 1.5 hours. Are you going to work today? You gonna go skate, teaching
Yeah,
skating?
yeah. It's gonna be interesting going out in this snow. But yeah, as for now, there's no canceling of school. So yeah, I'm going to work right now. I'm gonna get ready
Okay, so you're gonna
to
need to put a
go.
picture of your on your Instagram on your stories, so I can tell people just to go and watch what you're doing.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
your
for
what's your
sure.
Instagram? What's your
Abdiel, the same Abdiel Colberg, just like
all
that.
in a word? Okay, so people
Yeah,
need to go and see what you're doing, just for people to see what you're doing on a daily basis when it comes to skating and stuff like that. Do you post often?
yeah. Usually I post stuff in my news, in
Mm-hmm.
my those little video news things. That's what I put most of
The
the skating
stories.
that I'm doing.
Yeah.
The stories, yeah, the stories that I
Mm-hmm.
do daily. Most of my Instagram is my photography, here in New York, walking around and whatever I captured, and once in a while, of course, whenever I skate, I do post skating stuff
Mm.
in Instagram. But usually everything that we post separately in Go Sports USA, the Instagram
Okay.
of Go Sports USA. Yeah.
Okay. When it is related with skating and the classes and all that, when it's nothing to do with you personally, then it's on Go Sports USA.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Or I put it in my in the news,
The stories. Okay.
the story.
Perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much for taking your time. Have a good day.
No,
And I'm
you're
sorry.
welcome, man. I hope we talked some interesting facts about my whole life and rollerblading. I know there's so much stuff I forgot and I didn't talk about, and there's so much involved in skating and what I experienced and what I you know so many. But I mean, we need like maybe 3 or 4 or 5 hours to
And you
put
know what?
everything.
I'm not going anywhere, so we can always do a second one. And like we were just talking, we always need to set goals. So maybe in 5 years you're going to be doing marathons, or you're going to be jumping a mega ramp, and we're going to be talking about that and about what you did
Yeah.
from after today to that time, plus the things that you forgot. So it's not a
Yeah,
it's not
it'll
the
be
end.
it'll
It's
be
end of
it'll
part
be
one.
awesome. And hopefully I'll get some it's there on my list to do a mini edit again.
That's
I've been
sick.
trying to work for that, so we'll see. I'm excited too that I mean I've been using USDs for a long time.
I know you're on the ANs,
I'm
right? The Lomax.
Yeah, the Aeons, but now I'm waiting for them skates on June.
Ah, that's cool. You gonna skate those?
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna give them a try. Definitely. What John Julio is doing, it's something that you have to support. And I'm definitely gonna be one of them. So yeah, so
So you're gonna be
I'm
one of them
excited
with
to.
them.
Exactly.
That's cool. I'm looking forward to see your clips with the new skates and also with the old skates, and maybe, like I said, in 5 years, maybe we're gonna be talking about your kids skating or something like that. Who knows?
Oh, definitely. He already got some new skates this Christmas. So we're starting
Yay!
the whole process, yeah,
That's
of
awesome.
learning, yeah, teaching him how to skate, and he's a natural. So hopefully,
It
in a
runs in the
couple of years,
family.
he'll be skating with me. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, man. Thank you so much,
All
Abdul.
right.
Cheers, man. Have a
Thanks
nice
to
week.
you, Ricardo.
Cheers,
You
man.
too.
And that was it. Abdiel Goldberg. I have to admit that I have no nails. Why? Well, I usually bite my nails while I'm nervous or when I'm nervous. And Abdiel has been like one of my all-time favorites. So sometimes I had so many questions. There was so many times that I wanted to interrupt him that I had to bite my nails so that so that I wouldn't interrupt him. But I guess it went all right. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And if there was any questions that I left, well, maybe drop them in the comments. I guess Abdel is going to be looking at this podcast too. So if you have any questions, maybe drop them there, and I'm sure that he's going to reply to those too. And maybe there's a part 2, like we just said. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did enjoy this one, don't forget to give me some thumbs up. If you're not subscribing to this channel, now might be the best time to do it, so you don't lose the next one. And for you not to miss the next one, you might need to press on that ring button, on that bell button. And for you not to miss the next one, you might need to press that bell button on the side of the subscribe button, and then you'll get notifications every time I upload one of these. And that's it for today. Hope to see you guys soon, and do not forget why we all started skating, because it's fun. Cheers.
Vou viver até quando